Hello pilots and welcome back to another X-Wing flight video brought to you by Out of Art Gaming. As always, my name is Phil and today we actually have some at the table X-Wing for you. Rather than doing this on TTS, we've been able to actually get in store and put models on the board and have an actual game in person, and let me tell you, it was great to be back in store. Absolutely brilliant to be able to actually see some other people playing X-Wing alongside us. Such a great feeling, and we really missed it. So looking forward to getting more games back in the store. Today it's just me in the commentary booth, so you're going to have to put up with all of my ramblings for the next hour or so. So in advance I do apologise, but I do hope you enjoy this game. We've got Empire versus Resistance. It's myself versus Wes, and let's run through those lists. So for the Empire, we've got Ciena Ree in the TIE Interceptor with Marksmanship, Deadeye Shot and Targeting Computer. We have Whisper in the Phantom. Whisper has a fairly decent loadout now, so you can actually put stuff on there. She has Juke, Fire Control System and Targeting Computer. We've got Gideon Hask in the second TIE Interceptor with Marksmanship, Deadeye Shot and the Targeting Computer. We've got a second Phantom, Echo, with Juke, Fire Control System and Targeting Computer, and rounding the list off we have the Baron of the Empire in the TIE Advance V1 with Predator and Fire Control System. So this list is all about manoeuvrability and speed and relying solely on those green dice. And as we said, Wes has got a resistance list for us, so he's starting off with Poe Dameron in the T-70. This is the Commander Poe variant with Heroic, Backwards Tail Slide, BB Astromech and the Integrated S-Foils. We've got Finch Dallow in the Resistance Bomber with Perceptive Co-Pilot, Veteran Turret Gunner, Ion Bombs, Proton Bombs, and just to save himself a little bit, Ablative Plating. We've got 3 Resistance Y-Wings, starting with Wilsa Teshlo with the Dorsal Turret and the R4 Astromech, Shasa Zaro with the Dorsal Turret and a Seismic Charge, and Lega Fossang with the Ion Cannon Turret. So 20 points of your finest XWA latest points, all ready to see who is going to take the prize on this table. And we are doing Assault at the Satellite Array, so that is the area control one, which works kind of nicely for both lists here. But it's going to be an interesting matchup. We've got a lot of pointy, high agility ships on my side and some bulky, hard-hitting ships on Wes's side. So it's going to be interesting to see, is it going to come down to those objectives? Is it going to come down to the kills? Who is going to target what first and try and take out those danger pieces? But it looks like we are getting set up for a little bit of a joust here. So just see how fast we're going to move up. Now again, it's really nice having these XWA points because you get to see some ships that you don't see so often. So I'm getting to fly my Phantoms again, which I absolutely love Phantoms. They are fantastic ships. Now they've got a bit more loadout. I feel happy using them again. So you can actually put Juke on there, which is almost purpose built for this ship. So it's really interesting to see, will that come into play? Target's Computer, nice cheap little upgrade, which just gives it a bit more utility, I find. But the one I'm actually quite interested to see how it goes is Finch Dallow in the Resistance Bomber. Now, they are a little bit of a big target. They don't have a lot of evasion, 1 green dice in fact. Got a lot of health, but Finch Dallow's ability is what is going to be quite interesting. So before you would drop a bomb, you may place it in the play area, touching you instead. So that's going to be interesting with those ion and proton bombs, giving Wes a lot more control over where they're going to go, and he'll sort of see where the ships are close to him and where's going to be a good spot. So Ablative Plating probably going to come in very handy there, allowing him to, for 2 goes at least, ignore the effects of friendly bombs. So will he go for the proton or will he go for the ion? Looks like Poe is deciding to come in a little bit. I don't think he was expecting the Baron to turn up the board there, but no shots in the first round. No one going incredibly crazy into that first round. So this is where it's going to be quite important now. Does Finch drop a bomb now to try and catch? Obviously no trajectory simulator, so if it does go out the front, it has to be touching. But could still be a warning shot to me to be very aware of that. And more importantly, where are these phantoms going to decloak to? Whisper likely going to want to decloak forward because there's not really much other space for him, but Echo with his bendy decloak is always going to be an exciting one to watch out for. And going for the aggressive move up there. Interesting to see how Wes responds to that with Finch. If that moves up, even just a 1 forward is going to really put that bomber in an awkward position for my Phantom, but I do have the initiative, so maybe I can bump and block it from actually getting an action. It's going to be very interesting to find out exactly where that goes. Those bombers looking to head off the Baron, just get some early points on the board there. Turrets and their regular shots, obviously a lot of shots going out. The Baron, he's got some good evades, but you get a lot of shots in there, it can quickly start to put the damage in. And the Baron has got the target lock on Poe, so hoping Poe's not going to be going too fast to try and whistle him down. The I6s on the board, scary because they get to shoot first. Only Ciena and Poe will be able to simultaneously fire there, so they could really start laying some hurt down. Ciena, interestingly, obviously, if she does manage to take a ship out, will take a stress for her troubles. But generally being the I6, in the first couple of turns, you're not likely to be the one to get that kill, so just whistling the enemy down a little bit. And Gideon there taking advantage of the rare fact that he actually has the ability to target lock. I do think targeting computer for 1 point is just a really nice upgrade. If you've got a few points spare and you don't already have a target lock, targeting computer just works really nicely if you're not going to be looking at taking delayed fuses or munitions failsafe. Ooh, very aggressive there from Echo. It's going to be interesting to see if that's going to end up being a bump with Finch. Clearly, I don't like the idea of the potential bump, so moving out of the way there. Also puts me a little bit close to that objective, so if I have enough ships there, I could potentially outscore there. Good barrel roll there from Echo, though, as Wilsa's just moved her turret across and might not actually have the range there. And I think it's quite clear to see here which ship I am looking to take down, and it was a stop there from Finch, so no real need for Echo to have done that barrel roll, but better safe than sorry there. Does mean that, well, I mean, no action was going to be possible for Finch because it did the stop, but we've got 3 target locks on there, and Ciena moving up just to get a little bit more damage there. And ideally, we'll see Ciena Whisper, then Echo take shots to try and damage Finch to activate Gideon's ability to get that extra attack dice in the engagement phase. But let's see, is Poe going for the barrel, or is Poe moving away? I'm assuming by the focus being moved, yet Poe is just coming down the board, so looking to get away from the Baron there. And looks like Poe wants to join the fight over here and see if he can help Finch out a little bit, because that's a lot of firepower going into that bomber. It's got a huge amount of health though, 12 health, but only one evade. So whilst there's a lot of health to chew through, it can be brought down fairly quickly by multiple shots through, and we do have Ciena going first. He does have Marksmanship, Deadeye, and a target lock on there, so this could be a painful shot, and we've got 3 hits straight off the bat. Whilst there's still shields, not necessary to do the Marksmanship, but good to do it. But that is 3 shields down straight away on Finch. That is the absolute perfect start there. And not needing to use that target lock either, so that is saved for a later turn. So potentially, if Ciena can get a really nice position, get a focus on there, we'll have a double modded shot later in the round. But it's Poe next, going to be going into Ciena. Got the target lock hidden down just there, so gonna need to spend that target lock. That's the red dice have gone cold for. Where's there? Oh, 2 hits. That's not too bad, but that is 4 evade dice to be rolled, and we've got the evade, so Ciena gets off scot-free there. Now for the obstructed shot from Whisper. Again, got a target lock in place, and does have Juke. Gonna have to spend that target lock. Debating fire control, but at this point may as well just spend both of them and hit crit. So forgetting about Juke that time, so just the crit going through, but it's a wounded pilot. But Finch is now damaged, so that is going to help Gideon. But Echo going to shoot first. Whisper getting her extra evade for actually scoring a hit there. Just the one. No target lock because he barrel rolled. But another damage going through, so that's 5 points of damage off Finch now. That is a good start. Could have been a bit better if I remembered Juke and also had a target lock there with Echo, but he barrel rolled to avoid a bump. So, but Gideon is up next and he does have his ability activated. 2 hits and 1 hit and 2 crits. No fire control. I mean, in hindsight, looking back at this, I'd spend it. Yeah, there we go. Full aggression. So hit and 2 crits. All of it going through. That is huge. Let's see what those crits are. So it is a hull breach on the first one. So everything is crits now. Next up is damage sensor. So weapons failure, even worse. And yeah, so hull breach with 4 hull left. That is not good. I mean, Finch is still up, so that is an advantage, but shooting with 1 less dice now, so it's only going to be 2 out the front and 1 out the side with the veteran turret gunner. But now just looking at the ideal target, probably not the Phantoms. They have a lot of evades. So going into Ciena, that is too many dice, but it doesn't matter. No hits scored, so, but veteran turret gunner there. Looks like an obstructed range 2 into Whisper with all of the evades in the world. So probably unlikely anything's going to go through. Again, should have been 1 less, but no damage, so no foul. That does get picked up later actually with the weapons failure. We do put a crit token down on the board, so if you've got crit tokens, definitely worth using to remind you that you have something to be aware of, even if you're not sure, even if you can't remember exactly what it is. So range 3, that looks like the Baron going at Shasa. The red dice have finally gone cold for me there. Let's see what we get the other way. No damage. These green dice, there's a lot of them, so it's going to be difficult to get through those without being able to focus fire down on something. So that's where Wes has really got to try and strip tokens and do the best he can to just get multiple shots in there just to keep whistling them down. But interesting first round there, no damage on my side, but that is a very damaged and hurting Finch Dallow. 3 points scored for me as I managed to get enough ships close to that bottom right hand objective to take that away from Wes. So 3-2 going into turn 2. It's looking all right for me so far, but Wes has still got a lot of firepower he can bring to bear. Will he start coming in towards the pointy end of the board, or will he still try and take out the Baron? I mean, the Baron is only 3 points. He's the cheapest ship on my side of the board. But getting a ship down, scoring points, taking a gun off the table, taking a distraction off the table is always a good thing. So even if it is the cheapest ship, if you can get it down, that's pretty good. That Baron can be really annoying. It's got a very, very good dial. Blue 1 hards are incredible and can just get around everything. But here we see an ion bomb being dropped by Finch, and it is touching and it's in the front. So that is a really nice but awkward position. And Wes does have the initiative, so that does mean he gets to drop his bomb before my Phantom's decloak. And the bendy decloak just allowing Echo to get into some ridiculous number of positions. I mean, off each side that you decloak there, there's just the coverage you can get, and then the moves you have on the dial make Echo so difficult to know exactly where he's going to be. I mean, it's like a Star Viper, but with a 2 template. It just gets you so much further across the board. Really fun to try and figure out where you're going to, what you're going to set your dial, because you've got to remember, you've got to figure out how far that's going to move, and then from there where you want to go. So it's hard enough sometimes with the regular Phantom, but with Echo, it does add an extra level of complexity, but it is good fun. And again, I love seeing the Phantoms on the board. But here we go. Those Y-Wings really don't like the Baron and are looking to try and get him into some form of kill box there. Big move from Shasa. I like that. Looking to capture that objective when the Baron moves away. Let's see where the Baron said no thank you. He is zipping up the board 5 forward to get away from that. Probably still just in range of Shasa at the moment, so if he wants to get away from that, going to have to do, there we go, there's the 1 boost round. Looks like he's probably going to get out of arc of Lega and probably out of range of Shasa there, and basically swapping over which objective they're holding. That's a really, really good solid move. But we do have Wilsa coming in, who will possibly have arc. It's actually quite hard to tell there. I think Wilsa should have arc there, so getting that target lock to hopefully cause some damage there. And we have the 1 forward from Finch as we expected. Obviously stressed last turn, so not going to be able to stay put. And now the big decision, does he take a regular action, possibly get stressed, or does he try and remove one of those crits? This is something myself and Wes were debating at the table. Hull breach obviously not nice at all. Everything's face up. Wounded pilot, taking a stress if you do an action, but weapons failure is the biggest one there that you really want to be looking to get rid of. And I did say to Wes that if it was me, I'd be getting rid of that weapons failure. That's the one I'd try and clear off. But looks like he's going for the focus to get the double from Perceptor Copilot, and does get stressed for his troubles, so that is a little bit unfortunate. But I mean, with the bomber, you don't expect it to be the most maneuverable. That ion bomb, though, is in a really nasty position. Do not like that at all. Definitely don't want to be taking an eye on right there, as that would leave Gideon on the rock if he doesn't move away from it now. And if I get initiative next turn and I decide to try and go to the left, Finch will be in the way and probably dump me on the rock anyway, so followed by a proton bomb, more than likely. But it is interesting to see from last turn that Wes is, well, from this turn, Wes has moved everything up towards that Baron, essentially leaving Finch all on their own to take all of these hits. A big risk, if you ask me. But there is a bump for Echo. Not taking the red stress there. Wants to be able to do the decloak evade action. Whisper, again, they're so close to the obstacle there. Now, my initial plan was to get behind that obstacle, take some shots at Finch, and then decloak away next turn. But that ion bomb, forcing me to take that barrel roll now, really changed my plans. Because again, just like Gideon, don't want to be ionized going over a rock, especially with my Phantoms. They are absolute glass cannons. Absolute glass cannons, those ships. As soon as they lose their evade or start taking damage, that's it. They are going down so quickly. They've got the least evade dice of any ship on my side with only 2, so you've got to be really careful with them. Poe is coming in to cause a nuisance, so we do have some support for Finch, but looking at my side of the board, nothing's going to want to be shooting at Poe right now. And Poe's only 5 points in this game, whereas Finch is a big 6 points, so he is definitely the ideal target there, but that is going to be a bump for Ciena, and we could be seeing 3 ships ionized here. It's very close for Ciena, Gideon, and Echo. I think Gideon might be fine, but Echo and Ciena are in a scary position, but we've got to see what Poe can do here first. One hit's got the focus, spends it, so that's 2. Oh, does Ciena... Can't use it on attack. Potentially going to get shot by Finch, so does she... Oh, there's the ion bomb triggering, so... Misses Gideon, misses Whisper, just misses Echo, so only hits Ciena. Ablative plating to stop Finch getting it. I might have actually taken it on Finch, because then any locks you had would have got just taken away, but spending that focus on Ciena to stay healthy, as only 1 shot likely to come back in from Finch, so it's not exactly too bad. And it's an unmodified shot anyway. Couldn't have spent that focus, so seems okay there. Unobstructed shot coming in from Whisper. Well, that's what happens when you have a really good turn of shooting. Your dice decide, yeah, there's enough of that, and they really turn on you. nothing from Gideon. He is out of arc. So it looks like first shot is going to go into Ciena. No tokens, so seems like a good shout. Can't spend that focus because it is range 0, but does have the crit, so could sneak that through. There's the evade. And then we've got the side shot going into Gideon. Again, probably the best option, as you can modify the dice with your focus, and Gideon is fine. Green dice will really come into the rescue here for me. Wilsa does have that target lock. One hit. Spend that focus. And I think that might be the last shot. Oh no, sorry. Echo gets shot, gets a shoot. And Finch manages to evade away. Again, the difference in turns. Last turn, taking off, was it 8 health off the bomber in one turn, and then this turn nothing. Such a difference in that there. And just checking, does Shasa, no range or arc for Shasa there, so we go back to planning, and that's a much better scoring there for Wes. He's managed to actually take 2 objectives to my 1. So the bottom right was contested. With the combination of Poe, managed to take that middle one, Shasa scored the top left, and I managed to score that top right with the Baron. So yeah, 4 points apiece so far. All ships still on the board, which is slightly surprising and for me a little bit disappointing, but again, it's the way the dice roll sometimes, and that bomber is gonna be a nuisance. I'm very, very glad it doesn't have any mines right now. But being able to put those bombs so close to that ship just changes things up so much. Whisper's got to be even more careful now. Echo as well, but I mean, they're going to decloak. Don't have to reveal your dial when you decloak there. Again, the amount of board space that Echo has been able to clear with his decloak there has been incredible. Now, at some point I do want to have a look at the standard loadout cards for Whisper and Echo, but I just haven't got around to using them yet. I was just too excited to use them and just like this cheeky little Juke fire control target computer combination here. I think target computer works really well on the Phantoms. It's something nice to give a bit more consistency there with the target lock, potentially get a focus later, especially if you've got Juke. You're really like doubling down on the damage potential there. I'm wondering how much Wes is going to put those Y-Wings again towards the Baron. Maybe if it was me, I'd potentially be looking at bringing Shasa down the board towards where the rest of my ships are, because 4 turns he's been going after the Baron there. Only 3 points. It's not a lot of points to be chasing after there. And you've got everything else down the bottom here, where if you start focus firing down on any of these ships, that would probably work out better for him. I mean, the Phantoms are not cheap. Ciena and Gideon, Gideon's 4 points. Just going to bring the list up. I can never remember the points of the ships off the top of my head nowadays, so let's have a quick look. So Whisper's 5 points, Echo, Ciena and Gideon are all 4 points apiece. The Baron is 3. So switching round and bringing some of those ships in, coming against those Interceptors or Phantoms, might be a better shout. Compared to those Y-Wings, that Baron is just incredibly maneuverable. I know that the Y-Wings have the turret that they can change the direction, put a wider net on, but hasn't worked so far. So target lock moved across to Shasa there. There we go. K-turn from Wilsa out of the fight a little bit for this one. It does have the Baron, but we'll be able to come back in fairly sharpish in a moment. Oh, and a big old move there from Finch. Really wanted to get out of the way there. Having an effective 270-degree arc does kind of help there as well with the veteran turret gunner, but wounded pilot and weapons phase still going to make that quite tricky. That stress is following along because it is not a blue maneuver. There's the candy cane from Echo. Coming down and see if you can get a shot onto Finch or possibly catch Poe if Poe comes up rounded too hard. Wes does have initiative, so too hard would end up being a bump there. Really frustrating right now. Obviously, Gideon is going to have to react to that ion bomb as well, so not going to have a lot of room to maneuver there. And again, it's out of the action. I would absolutely love Gideon to be facing back in against Finch. His ability is alive and kicking on there. I mean, he's going to get 4 dice. If he can get range 1, that's a 5 dice shot with the Interceptor. So having him facing the wrong way is very frustrating at this point. And Whisper as well is really out of the fight. Those ion bombs have been a really good deterrent. They've really changed up where I'm wanting to go with my ships. And obviously it's forcing Ciena to do that ion maneuver in a moment, but it is looking like a bump from Poe. So close, almost clears it. If I'd have gone first, that would have been a brilliant maneuver there. But that might actually put him back a little bit, so not... It'll be interesting when we measure the ion bomb in a minute whether Poe would have actually has now benefited from that bump in not being caught by the ion bomb. I think he might have actually been ioned if not for that. Looks like, I'm looking at Echo's arc there, it looks like Echo is going to be able to catch Poe. I don't think he's got Finch, which, again, after all the work I put in earlier, Finch is definitely the one I want to be trying to take out. Huge 6 points there. really change the fabric of the game a bit if he goes down. Frees up my ships to move elsewhere, and they're really maneuverable, great action bars. That's unfortunate. Ciena is going to be ionized once again. Actually, that's a really good question for the chat there, guys. Obviously, with Ion, breaks all locks. Absolutely understand that. No problem there at all. If a ship is ionized, when you attempt to acquire a lock against it, can you acquire a lock against a ship that is ionized? I know that if they're on the gas cloud, you cannot lock it. But can you acquire a lock against a ship that is ionized? I don't think you can, but it's not super clear in the rules. And whilst we were playing, I didn't want to take lots of time looking up on the forum. Great set of evades there. Focus coming in clutch. But let me know in the comments, if a ship is ionized, can you lock it? Yes or no? We think no, but again, you guys are great in letting us know when we've got something not quite right, and rightly so. It's great to see, and there is a shield off Shasa there. So just let us know in the comments, guys. Also, with all the ships now being available, let us know in the comments what ships you'd actually like to see on the board. And we can try and sort of write some lists around them. Even if it's a specific pilot you want to see, we can try and write some lists around that and get them on the board. Sometimes there's so much options, it's really difficult to think, oh, what do I want to put on there? So let us know. Great use of Juke there, getting Finch down to 2, and with Hull Breach, that's 2 face-up cards, which we have a blinded pilot and another structural damage. Oh, it's a real shame there doesn't seem to be any more shots there. Otherwise, that could have been Finch very much in trouble with no evades. We've got 18 minutes left in this game, so we're probably going to have at least one more round after this. So we'll have to see what happens. Finch going for a long range. Gets the crit on his solitary dice, but only one evade. That nearly went through against Gideon there. That would have been quite funny. Wilsa continuing their assault on the Baron to try and get some damage through. I think that might have been obstructed, not entirely sure. Just the one. Not obstructed, but plenty of evades there. Oh, Echo does not have a shot against Finch. That is... You get the structural damage, and then you've got nothing else to follow it up with. And it is very close as well, but he does look to have Poe. So that is where the shot will go. And moving swiftly on. So we'll see Lega and Shasa have shots. Just double checking if Shasa is obstructed or not, and also seeing what other options are available for Shasa there, because getting some damage into the Phantom, not bad, but it's got the evade. But if you can make him spend it, then no decloaking. Going into the Baron, obviously there's no tokens there, so makes sense. Has the lock as well. The red dice have gone very cold at this point, unfortunately. Lega's turret is facing the wrong way, so unable to get a shot in, but the Baron is showing why it's a nice little 3-point ship. That's another shield down on Shasa, so some damage has been spread across the board there a little bit. But that is the end of round 4, and looking at the points, I have scored no points there, and Wes has scored a big 4 points, so that really pushes him up on the board. So objectives, again, so key. 8 points on objectives there is really good scoring for Wes there. I need to catch up with Finch and see if I can take him down, because that's going to be the biggest thing for me to score a lot of points. The other ships, they're all looking quite healthy, so it's going to be quite tricky to take them down. So I got to rely on taking Finch out at this point. And now it is proton bomb time. Where can you put that to make the most sense? Yeah, Wes anticipated I was going to come down the board there, but unfortunately the positioning of Echo meant I couldn't actually, I don't think I would have been able to decloak past that rock. If I'd have had collision detector, maybe, which is, if you've got the points for it, a fantastic upgrade on a Phantom. They think they've got you trapped between obstacles. You just go, well, I'll spend a charge on collision detector and decloak over a rock. Thank you very much, is always really fun. Let's see, where is Wilsa? Oh, Shasa going here. Possibly looking to try and see if they can take Ciena out. Not a bad position there for Shasa. Likely to have a couple of ships in arc there. Could possibly be getting in the way of the Baron. We'll have to wait to see where Lega goes first, so only the one bank, I'm assuming, might see a rotate there, but also trying to keep hold of that objective. Banking on getting Finch out of the way there so that they won't be taking any more damage. It's going to be a long shot to catch up to Finch though. So now we've got the Baron to move. Not a lot of space there. It's going to be interesting to see if the Baron can clear through. Obviously having to be careful of that rock as well. That looks like that's not going to clear. That's the 3. I think the 4 might have cleared, but it would have kept it real close to the rock. But because that's a bump that was initiated by Shasa, doesn't class as a friendly bump. So we'll get going for that red focus there. Again, because it's not actually range 0, we'll still be able to use that in the attack, which is quite nice. And I think that is actually the Baron's lock onto Shasa as well. But Obviously, we're looking to see what Finch is doing, but as is typical when we're playing in Storm, we always leave that last ship to last, and it's not going to affect anything to really keep our opponent on edge a little bit. So just moving in from Wilsa, lots of shots there that could go into the Baron, could go into Echo, but the target lock is on the Baron, so the Baron is still the target. I think Wes might have nightmares about the TIE Advance, possibly. But let's see, that is a too hard from Finch, missing that obstacle quite nicely there. Now, I touch wood at this point, but no one has actually landed on an obstacle so far, which is a rarity for us. But that's going to make it difficult for Whisper. Has got a lot of ground to cover if she wants to catch Finch. But here comes the other Phantom. Where is going for the target lock on Poe? Can't get closer to Finch, so yeah, that's the only option there. Take the target lock on Poe, not bad. Gideon coming round. Again, not really liking the position he's been stuck in, so probably going to try and push further around there. As I said, Wes has a big advantage. He's got 8 points to 4 at the moment. He's got a couple of objectives that look like they're going to be in his hands as well. I really need to get some kills on the board. And right now, Finch is the only air quotes guaranteed kill that we've got here. Range 3 from Whisper with the target lock, so Whisper does have a shot there, so possible to take Finch down. Only have the 1 evade dice from the range because of structural damage, and more than likely Juke will come into play there. Interesting from Poe, he's just jumped straight across because of where Ciena is. So correctly calling that he was actually going to potentially win that road roll and did not want to get caught by that proton bomb. So we're going to have a bit of a face-off between Poe and Gideon. Don't like that very much. That's a 4-die shot going in there with heroic, double charge spend, so that's going to be a lock and the focus. Yeah, double modded shot with 4 dice going at Gideon. I don't like the thought of that. But there we go, that's nice. We've got a 2-ship kill box on Shasa, so that's a good place to be for... There's a good position to try and get a second kill there, but that proton bomb is hitting nothing. We are going to be going into the shots. It is going to be Poe versus Gideon first. Got 2.5 minutes left on the timer. This is probably going to be the last round, but it's a 4-dice double modded shot into Gideon. Let's see what he can do. Hit 2 focuses and a blank target lock for that. Oh, so that is going to be 3 hits and a crit. So the crit is definitely going through on Gideon. Needs paint. Only the 1 evade. So that is going to be hit, crit. That is going to be Gideon down. Big points there for Wes. That actually extends his lead to 8 points. Which means right now I need to take Finch off the board and get another kill to be able to actually win this. Right now, Wes is in a very commanding position because he currently sat on 2 objectives with that one by Whisper and Poe contested. So Oh, that's a big shot from Ciena. Marksmanship putting that up to that is a hit and 3 crits. So that is 3 crits going through onto Shasa. That's a hit, triple crit, so shield down, 3 crits into that Y-Wing, putting it down to 1 health. The crits are a damage engine, a fuel leak, that's Shasa down because she's going to have to take a crit then a hit. That is Shasa down because those resistance Y-Wings only have 4 hull basic. That is step 1 of the wing con done there. Taking A shot off the board, but B, that's some good points there. The 3 points for Ciena does take the stress though for actually getting that kill. I didn't expect Ciena to actually get that kill there. That was unfortunate crit cards coming through there for Wes, but very, very fortunate for myself there. So now it is 7-12, 5-point swing. Wes currently sat on 2 objectives at this point. Now, can Whisper spend that lock? Nothing, so hit crit. Well, in all honesty, this is Finch down because if Wes gets an evade, it's just going to be juked off if I remember Juke this time. There we go. Juke down, so that is double crit into Finch, which is a damage engine. We can't see the other one, but that is Finch down, so that actually is now 13-12. So at the moment, this actually looks like it is going to go in my favour here. If these Y-Wings can take out... If these Y-Wings can take out either the Baron or Ciena, that is what Wes needs to win the game. The Baron looks like he's got no shot. Echo does have a shot on Poe, but it's not going to do enough damage to actually make any difference to the result. But this is it. The timer is up. So this is going to be the last couple of bits of shooting. So Wilsa gets nothing. Echo will take a bit of a shot at Poe Dameron. Not with green dice though. Red dice, please. So hit crit, spending the lock. So 2 hits and a crit. So shields down on Poe. If we had another round, that would have been quite nice. And it's now just left to Lega to shoot, but gonna go into Ciena. That's probably actually the best shout. Gets a hit, so not going to be enough. Crits would have been lovely, but there we go. The evade is there. Just checking. Does... No. No shot there for the Baron. So that is it, guys. That's going to be game. What a tense game the whole way through. Wes took a great lead there with the obstacle in the last round. That was actually contested at the top there. So ending 14-12 in my favour. The resistance bomber took a lot longer to take down than I was expecting. My green dice though were ridiculous, only losing Gideon to a fully modded range 1 shot from Poe. So great play there from Wes to get that, taking it right to the wire. But that, I tell you, being back in store to play this game was so fantastic, especially playing against Wes, such a lovely player. If ever you are down in the Pool and Bournemouth area and you get a chance to have a game with Wes, it is an absolute treat. You will love it. But guys, that's another episode brought to you by Out of Art Gaming. Thank you all so much for watching. We're going to have more in-store action coming very soon. So again, please don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and we will see you next time.